Street show tips.
Hello, first tips about street show. You have to practice a lot. This is the most important, more important than all the other tips. This is why it's the number one. Street show is a job and you have to learn it. The only way to learn it is to go to the street as often as you can. Even if what you're doing is not great, it doesn't matter. This is the only way to learn. So now, if it's summer, you can go every day. Every day. You can go to a touristic city, you can go to a market. Every city has a market. So just go down in the street and try your thing. That was it. First advice, you can share it around. If you have a specific question about street show, you can write me a message. See you tomorrow.
Street show tips.
There is two big kinds of street show. The first one is a pass-by show. This is what most of the musicians are doing. They play songs one after the other. People are passing by and they can stop when they want. They can listen to 1, 2, 3 songs as much as they want. They can give money when they want and they can leave when they want. The second kind of street show is the circle show. This is what breakdancers do, for example. They gather the crowd before the show, then they start the show, they keep the crowd until the end of the show, and then they collect the money, and then the crowd leave. In this series of video, we're gonna speak mostly about circle show, because this is what I do. That was the street show tip number 2. Write me a message if you have question about street show. You can share that around if you like, and see you tomorrow.
Street show tips.
I'm gonna tell you one way of doing a very simple circle show. First, you go in a very crowded street. 2, you catch the attention. It can be with loud music, with a crazy costume, making jokes, doing magic, whatever. 3, when some people are looking at you, you don't need much, it can be 5, 10 people, it's fine. You stop what you're doing, you look at them and you tell them a show is about to start. You explain them what is gonna happen. 4, you do the show. Keep it short, 2, 3, 4 minutes is enough. 5, you finish the show, you tell them thank you, and you ask them to put money in your hat. It's as simple as this. If you practice this, you're gonna get better and better, and you're gonna be able to make your show longer. Write me if you have any questions, and share this around if you find it useful, and see you tomorrow.
Street show tips.
Another good way of learning how to do street show is to watch a lot of street show. You can see them in busking festival, in the street of touristic cities, but also in YouTube. There is a lot of street show there. You can watch how they are building the circle, how they are keeping the attention, how they are passing the hat. You can see and understand what is working, what not, and you can find what you like and what you dislike. Don't hesitate to take some idea and try them in your own style. Thank you. Write me if you have any question about street show. Share this around if you like, and see you tomorrow.
Street show tips.
I'm gonna tell you a very classic structure for circle show. It's used in juggling comedy show and in breakdance show. First comes the crowd building. This is when you build your circle. Then comes the first part of your show, something very clean, presenting yourself. Then comes the participative part, with somebody from the audience or with the whole audience. And then comes the final, something impressive, something big, or something touching, or something surprising. And finally comes the hat line, which is what you say to the people to get them to put something in your hat. Obviously, not everybody is doing street shows like this, and you don't have to do it like this, but it's something that works and it's good to understand. Tomorrow we're gonna speak about the crowd building. Share this around if you like, write me if you have any question, and see you tomorrow.
Street show tips.
The crowd building is gathering the people to build a circle. A circle is very important for a street show. It defines the area of your show. Outside of the circle, it's not your show. Inside of the circle, it's your show. It's very important to make that clear. If you don't have a circle, people can pass between you and your audience, and that makes the show very hard to be good. The circles protects you from the people who doesn't want to see your show. And in the circle, there will be only people who want to see your show. Inside the circle, it's your territory. You are the master and you can control everything. The better the circle is, the easiest it is to do a good show. You can build a circle in a lot of ways, and I know it seems impossible for beginners. It is very hard, but I have a lot of tips to give you about it. It will come later. Tomorrow we will speak about the first part of a street show. Share this around if you like, write me if you have any question, and see you tomorrow.
Street show tips.
Once you have your circle, you can start your show. The first part of your show is kind of presenting yourself to the audience. It's like saying, look, this is what I'm doing and I am good at what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be hard, it has to be clean. For example, breakdancers are doing a very short and clean choreography at the beginning of their show. It's kind of giving you the legitimacy for the rest of your show. If the audience sees that you are good at what you're doing, that you know what you're doing, they're gonna be able to listen to you longer and to watch you longer. Tomorrow we're gonna speak about the participative part of your show. Write me if you have any questions, share this around if you like, and see you tomorrow.
Teacher tips.
Having a participative part in your show is a great way of making your show more dynamic. Why? First, as a street performer, you are not seen as a human by the audience. You're like from another planet. People cannot identify to you. If you bring somebody from the audience, people can identify to this person. They can think, wow, that could be me. And it brings this humanity back in the show. Also, it brings a lot of spontaneity. Obviously, you cannot know what the volunteers are gonna do, so it brings a lot of improvisation and helps you find new things for your show. I'm gonna give you more tips about how to get volunteers later. Tomorrow, I'm gonna speak about the finale of the show. Check my street show guide on my website, share this around if you like, write me if you have any question, and see you tomorrow.
Teacher tips.
The final of your show is what closes your show. It can be impressive, it can be surprising, but most important, you have to make it big. You have to find something to build it up, to build the expectation. You can use the music, you can climb on something high, you can make the people clap, you can cut your breathing, whatever. There is a lot of possibilities. I don't have much to say about it. You can see examples everywhere. Just remember, it doesn't have to be an impressive trick. It can also be something very touching or something surprising that nobody see coming. Tomorrow we're gonna speak about the hotline. You can check my whole guide with a lot of tips on my website. You can share this around if you like and write me if you have any specific questions. See you tomorrow.
Teacher tips.
After you've done your finale, you can use the energy of the finale to jump into the hotline. The hotline is the moment of the show where you present yourself, you introduce the hat, and you actually ask for what you want. The goal is to break the wall between you and the audience. You can drop the character and you can be more honest. You can say who you are, you can say why you're doing this job, you can say where you're coming from, you can share whatever you like, but don't lie. And be proud, even if it was not your best show, even if you're not really happy about what you did, for the people in front of you, it's amazing. You did a show in the street and not everybody can do this. Don't be afraid of speaking about the money. You can tell them how much you need, you can tell them why you need it, you can ask for photos, you can ask them to sing to you, you can really have fun in the hotline. Tomorrow, I'm gonna give you tips to build the circle. You can see the full guide of street show on my website, you can share this around if you like, you can write me specific questions, and see you tomorrow.
Teacher tips.
Here is the first tip to create a circle. First, you need to catch the attention. It can be with a nice costume, it can be with music, you can do some juggling, you can just prepare your stuff, whatever. At some point, the first people are gonna stop. You can say hello to them, acknowledge their presence, but you don't ask them to create a circle yet, because they're not gonna come. But from then, you have an audience, so everything you're doing for them. You can give them little gifts, like juggling tricks for them, or you can do little jokes for them, and more people are gonna stop, and you every time say hello to them. At some point, there are gonna be enough people and you can define the space. For this, you can use a rope, you can count your step to define the size of your stage just to make clear where the show is gonna be. Then you ask the people to come closer to create a circle. Tomorrow I'm gonna give you more tips about doing a circle. You can see a full guide for street show on my website. You can write me if you have any question, and see you tomorrow.
Teacher tips.
What can you do to get the people to get closer to build the circle? Well, first, try to spot the people that are more willing to help you. Some people are looking at you already smiling. They really want to see your show. Those people are easier to get. If you get the first people to get closer, the other one are gonna come closer easier. The second thing is to take your time. Sometimes they're not gonna come closer on the first time you ask. It's okay, you can take your time, ask them again a bit later. At some point, if they really want to see the show, and I think they want, they're gonna come closer. If you are really struggling to build a circle, don't hesitate to explain them why you need the circle and why you need them. They're gonna understand and they're gonna help you if they know you really need help today. Sometimes it's just harder than other days. Tomorrow I'm gonna give you more tips about how to build a circle. Check the full guide on my website, write me if you have any questions, and see you tomorrow.
Teacher tips.
The hardest thing about building a circle is to catch the 5 first people, so try to start at the right moment. With the time, you're gonna recognize the people who are more willing to stop. For example, the families, grandma with children, the group of tourists, the group of friends chilling in the street. Those are my favorite, like those group of friends chilling in the street in the afternoon without nothing to do. They're just there. You just ask them, hey, do you want to see a show? And they will like always say yes. So you're like, okay, come and stay there. And bam, you have like 5 people in front of you watching you, and you can build a circle around them. They are not gonna give you money at the end of your show maybe, but they're gonna help you build the circle. Tomorrow I'm gonna give you more tips about building the circle. Check out my guide on my website. Write me if you have any specific question, and see you tomorrow.
Teacher tips.
Take your time to make your circle very solid. If your circle is solid, your show is gonna be solid. You want it dense. If there is not much people, make it very small. In general, it's better to make the circle small. It brings more energy. You feel more connected to the people. Try to have several layers of people, so the people from the first row cannot leave that easily because there is people behind them on the second row. At the beginning of your show, you want people in front of you, people on your right, people on your left, maybe even people behind you, so you are like all protected from the street. It's like a fortress that protects you. So take your time to do this. If you see there is a lot of people on the left, you can take them and bring them to the right side, a bit like you're placing them in a theater. You can play this game. Tomorrow I'm gonna give you even more tips to build the circle. Check the full guide on my website. Write me if you have any question, and see you tomorrow.
Teacher tips.
As soon as you have enough people in front of you, try to get them together. If it's not building a circle, just build a line. If people are together, it's more looking like something is gonna happen, and more people are gonna stop. Another good thing is to make them do some noise. If you are doing some noise, it's good. But if they are doing some noise, it's really look like something is gonna happen. You can make them clap for little things. You can ask them if they are ready, whatever. Tomorrow we're gonna speak about how to choose a volunteer. Check on my website the full street show guide. Write me if you have any question. And see you tomorrow.
Teacher tips.
Choose wisely the volunteers for your show. Some people are looking at your show like this, and some people are looking at your show like this. Those are the people you want to participate in your show. Try to spot them as early as you can. Once you see them, try to be their friend. Try to give them a lot of eye contact, try to smile to them, so when you pick them to participate, they're not gonna be surprised and they're gonna be happy to come because they are your friend already. And try to remember their name, but also where they are coming from the crowd. So when you're finished with them, when you bring them back, you can bring them back to the spot where they was in the crowd. It's gonna feel very smooth. Tomorrow I give you another tip about the volunteer part. Write me if you have any question, check my full guide on my website, and see you tomorrow.
Teacher tips.
If you are using a volunteer in your show, you have to adapt to the volunteer. If the volunteer is a bit shy and takes some time to understand what he has to do, just slow down and take more time to explain them and be very gentle. If the volunteer is very fast and really playful and want to do a lot, you have to follow his energy and be playful and play with him. You really have to adapt to the energy of the volunteer. Take any input from them and bring it into the play. You know where you are going with the volunteer, but they are leading the energy of the show. They are bringing you somewhere where you don't know. And please, don't make fun of them. Don't make them ridiculous. Try to let them go out of the show as winners. You have to bring them up. You have to play together. So at the end of the show, you are friends. Tomorrow, we're gonna speak about how to make the whole crowd participate. Check my full guide on my website. Write me if you have any question, and see you tomorrow.
Teacher tips.
You can make the entire crowd participate in your show. Just make them do something together. It can be some movement, it can be screaming, it can be singing a song. You can also divide the crowd. One part is doing one song, the other part is doing another song, and you direct them as an orchestra. You can make them clap, obviously. You can also make them react to what you do with some ah or whatever. It's a very good way of bringing the people into your show, and it's a way less pressure than bringing only one volunteer in your circle. Tomorrow we're gonna speak about the hotline. Check my full guide on my website. Write me if you have any question, and see you tomorrow.
Teacher tips.
Chris is asking what to do if it's raining at the beginning of your show. If it's raining during your show, it's easy. If the people are staying, just finish your show. If the people are just leaving because it's raining really hard, well, that's it. You have to stop. But you can really feel the people. You can even ask them, you can be like, it's raining a bit. Do you want to see the end of this show? And people are gonna be like, yeah, and then you go, okay, we do it, and then maybe you make it a bit shorter because it's harder to stay, but you can really finish your show. If it's raining at the beginning of your show, well, if it's really the beginning and you don't even have people in front of you, I guess just don't do it. But if people stopped and you feel like people are gonna stay, just do it. I played once in a town. There was nothing else to do in the town, so people were willing to see the show even if it was raining. And I just put a plastic bag on my amp and I just do the show under the rain. Sometimes it works. Check my full guide on my website. Write me if you have any question, and see you tomorrow for another tip.
Teacher tips.
Do you need an authorization to play in the street? Well, that depends a lot in the city. In some city you need one, in some city you don't need one, in some city you normally need one but nobody cares. You just never know in advance. You can call the city hall, you can call the city to try to know, but you will not always get the answer. The best way, in my opinion, is just go in the street and play and wait for the police to come to you if you're not allowed to, and then they're gonna explain you the rules. And then you're gonna know it for sure. I think that's the easiest. In my experience, nothing bad happens the first time the police comes to you if you have a pacific attitude. The other thing is to ask the busker who are already working in the city. They normally know and they can explain you the rules. Check my full guide on my website, write me if you have any question, and see you tomorrow.